from WVLT, this is Local 8 News.
A state trooper was part of a crash that killed a pedestrian.
After a deadly school bus accident, Knox County schools promised change. We are checking on the status of those changes now 1 year later.
And this Christmas, the people of Townsend say less is more. We're going to show you why they're keeping the holiday simple this year.
Your top story, a person is dead tonight after being hit by a couple of cars. This happened on Maynardville Pike. Good evening, glad you're here. I'm Ted Hall.
And I'm Amanda Hara. A state trooper was behind the wheel of one of the cars that hit the man as he was walking along the road. Local 8 News reporter Kyle Warnke is joining us now. And Kyle, you actually spent several hours on scene tonight.
Yeah, guys, and that call for the first responders came from the officer who hit that person. We're told that person was walking in the road, was first hit by an SUV, and then by a Tennessee Highway Patrol officer. Now, this is an area on Maynardville Pike that's still under construction, just in front of Old Maynardville Pike Road. A THP investigator says that this happened just about 6 o'clock this evening, and it shut down traffic headed in both directions for several hours, 4 miles. Now, the person has not yet been identified. The lieutenant that I spoke with says that it's just too early right now to tell me what led up to the incident or why that person was walking on such a busy road on such a busy time of night. Amanda?
All right, Kyle, the name of the trooper who hit the pedestrian has not been released. THP is still investigating. It really has not been an easy night for drivers. We've got the heavy rain and possibly flooding. Morgan County schools on a 2-hour delay tomorrow because of that.
Yeah, sometimes even if the word flooding isn't necessarily associated with the official designation for an area, doesn't mean it's not a scary time.
Yeah, that's what's hard. You know, there's been a lot of rain, obviously. I had some friends even posting that their commute was starting to get a little more ponding, so it could be different even by the time you get out for tomorrow morning's commute. In fact, in Knoxville, we're officially at 4 1/4 now as of 11 o'clock, and rain so far since it started Sunday morning. We are looking at more rain at times, but dry, colder air is on the way. That's coming up. So right now we've got to get this rain through our neck of the woods. You can see we have light to moderate to some heavy downpours still. This is where you find some areas where flooding is likely to start happening. So no, there's not an active warnings, but flood watches for everyone in our area, because that means you need to watch out, know that this could be happening tonight during the morning hours. Actually, in fact, the rivers, the creeks and streams, they could run high for days even after the rain moves out because of runoff. You can see we have some heavy rain right now in McMinn and Monroe counties, actually parts of Roane County as well getting soaked. It's currently 60 degrees in Knoxville, 62 in Englewood, 52 Crossville. Again, we'll talk more about the big changes, the improvements right around the corner coming up.
Heather Haley, thanks. Thanks for being here tonight. Flooding delay school in Morgan County. Meanwhile, a water main break had kids home from school today and may again tomorrow in Granger County. Crews are working overtime tonight. They say they did find the leak. The problem they're working on now is getting the water pressure where it needs to be. School officials said they do hope to get the kids back in the classroom tomorrow. If they can, they might start a little late. They're going to make that decision in the morning, so make sure you tune into Local 8 News this morning tomorrow. It starts at 4:30, but tune in whenever you wake up. Tomorrow marks 1 year since 2 buses collided on Asheville Highway, killing 2 students and a teacher's aide. Investigators say the driver of the bus that caused the crash was texting behind the wheel.
Yeah, just before this school year, Knox County made a series of promises to increase safety and actually hold bus drivers accountable.
Yeah, did the district keep its word? Heather Burrian is joining us now. And Heather, you talked to the superintendent tonight to see if schools have followed through.
That's right, Ted, and several parents have told me that 1 year later, they don't see much of a difference. But when I asked tonight, administrators guaranteed me you will start seeing changes at the beginning of the new year.
All right, here we go.
To Nivea Watterson, playtime is so much more than just quality time.
Go, Akeem.
It's knowing her son Akeem
Let's get first place.
is safe beside her.
Even when we go over like bumps, he just said that he just remembered it was real bumpy. And after that, they just crashed.
Akeem was on the bus that got knocked on its side 1 year ago Wednesday. 2 students and a teacher's aide died. One was his cousin.
How'd you get hurt?
I had glass in my eye.
Superintendent Jim McIntyre says something needed to change.
There's one camera that will be facing backward toward the students, one facing forward toward the driver.
He says the cameras would be a way to assess complaints easily. The only catch? They're still working to approve the plan, but McIntyre says the district should start rolling them out this year. Another promise? A safety check system where officers and school security officers will randomly ride on buses at least once a year. They'll also ride if there's a complaint about the driver.
I think an additional layer of just scrutiny and accountability.
Another administrator tells me that should start this January. There's also more distracted driving training. Nivea Watterson has seen it firsthand. Her mom is a driver with the district.
They have been doing the whole procedure of the safety and going by, no texting. They can't even get on their phone.
And even though she now drives Akeem to school, she hopes this helps other parents.
I think that it will be a turnaround. I hope so.
I actually made a call to almost every parent who had a child on one of the two buses. Several told me they now drive their child to school too, like Nivea.
The district has also rolled out a GPS tracker on these buses so parents can see where their kids are. Now, they're not on all the school buses yet, but a pretty good percentage by now.
He was robbed, then accused of rape, and when he went looking for help, he only found trouble. The Claiborne County Sheriff says that's the story behind Herschel Gully's death. Tommy Hurst, Vanessa Hurst, and Kayla Parton charged with criminal homicide in the case. Brandon Parton is charged with conspiracy to commit robbery. The sheriff says the two women lured Herschel Gully to this church parking lot and robbed him. They're accused of taking his car keys, leaving him in the lot, and then walking to their uncle's home nearby where they claimed Gully raped them. The sheriff says Gully then showed up at the same house, most likely in search of help. Tommy Hurst is accused of then beating him to death. Now, we originally reported information from the sheriff who told us this was the first homicide in Claiborne County in 2 years. We've since realized that another man was killed in Speedwell back in June.
Tomorrow's going to mark 1 year since a Campbell County woman went missing, and even though a man is sitting in jail awaiting trial for her murder, investigators have yet to find her body. This is what it looked like in La Follette. While the entire community seemed to hold on to hope that Rhonda Daugherty would be found safe. There are rewards offered. A year ago, we even talked to Daugherty's family, who said they were hoping for a Christmas miracle that did not come. Instead, the family found out that Lonnie Van, a former Campbell County school teacher, will stand trial for Daugherty's murder and kidnapping. Claiborne County, instead of Campbell, is handling the case to avoid any conflict of interest. Lonnie Van is scheduled to be back in court the 16th of this month. Last night, we told you about an 80-year-old woman who was rescued. She was trapped for more than 24 hours, essentially under her car.
Yeah, Roane County Captain Tim Hahn saw a car in an embankment, but he wasn't the only one who took notice and then took action. This is Kathy Payne. She's a mail carrier. She's worked in Rockwood for about 25 years. She also spotted the car in a ditch during her route and called 911. Turns out the 80-year-old woman had been pinned underneath the car for more than 24 hours. Payne says she was glad she was able to help save the woman's life.
Are you worried about all those online purchases you've made being stolen right off your porch? After a $3 billion Cyber Monday, there are things that you can do, and we want you to know there are things being done for you. Last night, we gave you a few tips, some good ones. Require a signature before they drop the box off. Ask a neighbor for help. Even have your packages delivered to work instead of your house. Tonight, we can also tell you, officers are looking for the crooks who are looking for your packages.
We do increase our patrols in the neighborhoods, in the condo complexes, apartments, business areas, as well as throughout the community. And with that said, we also are very fortunate that we have many neighborhood watch programs that are within our city.
Officer Woolridge told us that thefts do go up slightly this time of year. You would think it would be a lot, right? But he says because people are looking out for their neighbors, the number of thefts doesn't really take a big leap. Hey, it has been a roller coaster year for the Vols, hasn't it? It's been great, it's been bad, it's been great. After tonight's college football playoff ranking, there's a reason for Vol Nation to smile.
Yeah, hey, for the first time since the Oklahoma loss in September, the Vols, they're back in a top 25 poll, and really, this is the big one to be on.
Sure, this is good. Yeah, Tennessee's number 25 in the college football playoff rankings, and if you look at the top four, the teams that are battling for those playoff spots have a lot of Tennessee connections. Take a look. The Vols had a chance to beat a couple of these top four teams, Alabama and Oklahoma, and they did give Iowa their last loss. Plus, it went down to a fourth down miracle play for Florida to eventually get a win over Tennessee. Coming up in Local 8 Sports, Rick's going to tell us about the other team in the rankings with 4 losses, a team UT fans may not want to hear too much about.
You know, they don't call us volunteers for nothing. On this Giving Tuesday, East Tennesseans helped raise nearly $5,500 for the United Way. Local 8 News partnered with WBIR and WATE to spread the word. Yep, that's reporter Brittany Nada skating around saying hi to our friends Todd Howell and Matt Hinken. If you want to donate to the United Way, there is still time. Here's how to do it. You can text Knox Gives to 41444. You can go to uwgk.org or give the United Way a call at the number on your screen. We're also going to put all this information on our website, local8now.com.
We really don't get to see our buddies at the other stations very much these days. You heard of the term diehard fan? Probably, right? Maybe that's how you've talked about your Tennessee Vol fandom.
Yeah, if that's the case, though, are you ready to take your school pride to the grave? Now you can, plus this.
What is appropriate to me may be highly inappropriate to you and vice versa.
Well, some are saying it's not appropriate to raffle off a rifle for a kids group. We're going to talk more about that.
And then hope it inspires people to say, hey, you know, there's more to Christmas than just the commercialism.
Yeah, Christmas is taking on a different look in one East Tennessee town.
And that Local 8 weather alert continues. In fact, right now we have flood watches for everyone in our area, but we've even got some flood warnings popping up for some rivers in the neighborhood near you. We've got the latest coming up for you up next. There's clearing, but colder air on the way.
There's a student wrestling club in Kansas, and it's ruffling some feathers over its latest fundraiser.
Yeah, this year's raffle giving away a semi-automatic rifle. Coach Chris Belleville says there's nothing wrong with the wrestling club's latest fundraiser. In fact, Belleville owns the same rifle the club is raffling off. According to the club coach, anyone 18 and over can enter to win the rifle. A few people in the small town in Kansas, though, a little worried about how others will perceive this.
It's not like they're giving this away to a little boy or a little girl.
It's going to upset some parents, and it may even hurt their ability to raise money in the future.
Yeah, they're worried about the ability to raise money in the future. The wrestling club's coach says ticket sales for this raffle have actually been better than previous fundraisers. He adds that most kids in the club were raised around firearms.
You've been driving around looking for all those Christmas decorations yet? The blow-up Santa, reindeer and lights, houses covered. Not so much in Townsend. Christmas has a different look there this year.
This is another way for people to say, hey, you know, this is about Jesus Christ. Maybe I'll go think about it a little bit more.
That's James Hind. He's the guy who lives in Townsend. Had a pretty simple idea. Instead of putting up all the flashy decorations, how about just the white cross with some lights? He started the idea with his wife, and it is spreading.
A good friend came by and talked about what he wanted to do, and I guess put Christ back in Christmas, and I'm all for that. I don't care for all the commercialism that we all engage in now.
Missed the quiet side of the Smokies. Townsend, about 30 homes and businesses so far going with the cross for their Christmas decorations. They've got a Christmas concert at the barn coming up Sunday evening. Now to this. Check out how members of the Imperial Army put up their Christmas tree from start to finish. Couple of brothers from Missouri put these pictures out there, put them on Facebook, and it's getting some interest. About 250,000 shares so far, including Darth Vader showing his approval right there at the end. That is pretty clever.
Always tracking, always alerting. Local 8 weather.
All right, we got lucky this week. We got Heather Haley in for David while he's out. But before we talk about the forecast, and we might need your help on this, the Knoxville Zoo, they're offering a pretty sweet deal, but we really do need Mother Nature to cooperate. Starting today, tickets to the zoo are buy one, get one free. Deal runs through the end of February, and Santa will even be there from time to time for a little meet and greet.
I know him.
I'm like Buddy the Elf.
You can find the details on local8now.com.
And after tomorrow, the weather should cooperate at least for a while.
Y'all just helped me make my weekend plans.
Oh, good.
Thanks for that.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, you know, you got a 3-year-old. You just said Santa. There's penguins and bears and
everything
all that
else.
good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what more could you ask for?
Perfect.
See, the battery breaks your guitar again.
Yeah, he may have found that earlier today. His strumming abilities are amazing, I might add. Good evening, everybody, or good night if you're maybe wrapping it up trying to get to bed.